Hello everyone and welcome back to another Star Wars action figure review. Today we're taking a look at another Black Series 6-inch figure, once again from the Gaming Greats subline, and this is another Stormtrooper from The Force Unleashed. This time around we're looking at the Shadow Stormtrooper, a really nice complement to the Stormtrooper Commander that I gave you a look at in my previous review. In a lot of ways this guy shares a lot of similarities to the Stormtrooper Commander, especially in terms of sculpt, articulation and all that sort of stuff. But again, like with the Stormtrooper Commander, it's the paint job that really sells this figure and it looks superb. So we're going to take a look at it in a little bit more detail in just a moment. Before we do, as always, there is a link down below in the video description where you can purchase this figure for yourself. At the time of shooting this review, the figure is unfortunately out of stock at staractionfigures.co.uk. These two guys, you know, the Stormtrooper Commander and the Shadow Stormtrooper, have proved very popular, but hopefully they turn up again some point in the future and you guys will be able to grab one for yourself. Again, like the Stormtrooper Commander, this is a highly recommended figure. So before we jump into the review of the figure itself, once again we're going to take a look at the packaging he comes in, and like with the Stormtrooper Commander, we do get some really nice unique packaging for this figure. Once again, you've got a different colour background there, a nice pale blue colour, as well as the Shadow Stormtrooper name there, and the image of the Stormtrooper himself, illustrated by Gregory Titus. Really nice image, this one, very striking in its appearance. You've got the Force Unleashed logo down in the bottom corner, and then on the side, once again, the Gaming Greats Shadow Stormtrooper. On the back, an image of the character once again, Force Unleashed logo there, and a description of the character. So really nice packaging. Still on the fence with this one as to whether or not to keep it in the box. The really cool thing about these Black Series packaging, these Black Series boxes, is the fact that you can open them up, take the figure out, play with it, review it in this case, and then throw it back in the box to put on display. And I think that's probably what I'm going to do with both this one and the Stormtrooper Commander. They look really nice boxed up. Got the Gaming Greats call out there on the front of the box as well. And again, really hope this line continues into the new style packaging of the Black Series. It will be really nice to get some more video game characters in the Black Series 6-inch line. And again, with the addition of these two as action figures, I really hope we get Starkiller at some point as well. So there we go, that is the packaging. Now let's take a look at the figure itself, and here he is. He's definitely a unique looking chap. For a lot of fans and collectors, when you say Shadow Stormtrooper, you instantly just think black armour. But with this figure, he really does invoke the Shadow nickname. Essentially what these characters do in the game is they blend into their surroundings, they hide, they have cloaking devices, stealth technology embedded in their armour, and they're basically able to turn invisible. Now, this is something that Hasbro have attempted before. For those of you that have been collecting for long enough, you'll remember the Force Unleashed action figure multi-packs that were released in the Legacy collection in around 2009-2010, and those multi-packs did indeed feature Shadow Stormtroopers, which were cast and painted in a semi-translucent plastic. And basically Hasbro have tried to replicate that here in the 6-inch line, and they've done a really good job. It's not entirely translucent, obviously, as you can see, but certain elements of the figure are indeed transparent, and you can see all the inner workings of the figure itself. You know, the plastic is clear, and they've just done a really nice job. It's really cool, and I love the look of this figure. I think it's absolutely stunning. In addition to those translucent parts, obviously he has a somewhat black look to his armour, but instead of just being a solid black colour, you've got this really nice silver, almost mottled effect on the armour, and it looks really cool. I hate using the term, but it almost looks glittery. It's got this really nice glittery effect to it, and it just looks fantastic. I'm a really big fan of how this figure looks, especially in person. I really don't think the images do this one justice. But But as you can see, certain elements of the figure are indeed cast in translucent plastic. You can see the cogs in the articulation there, as you can see. If you get a decent look at that. Doesn't take away anything from the figure visually either, which is really cool. If anything, it adds to it. But yeah, the bicep, the forearm, they're cast in a translucent plastic. The abdomen there is cast in translucent plastic as well, but as you can see, it's got this sort of painted wash on it as well. Lower part of the leg is cast in blue plastic as well. It's just a really cool look. Definitely makes these guys look very mysterious and very intriguing to look at. Really, really nice indeed. As you can see on the helmet, you've got those blue accents as well. You've got blue lenses in the eyes, blue vents around the mouthpiece. Just a really, really cool looking figure. Again, massive fan of how this one turned out. Now, in terms of accessories, he does come with the same weapons as pretty much all of the Stormtroopers we've seen in the Black Series so far. It does come with the blaster rifle, which is again nicely sculpted and weathered. And he does also feature the E11 blaster rifle, which can be stored in the holster on his belt. One thing to point out about both the Stormtrooper Commander and the Shadow Stormtrooper is the fact that the hole from the original release is still prevalent on the back of the figure. This was obviously used to attach the Sandtrooper backpack, as strangely enough we received a Sandtrooper in the Black Series line before the much more iconic regular Stormtrooper, and that's something that Hasbro never got around to modifying, so that hole is still there. So if you've got any spare backpacks lying around in your collection, you can always add them to these figures and create some different troops for your ranks, which is cool. So that's it in terms of accessories. In terms of articulation, again, standard stuff from these 6-inch Stormtroopers, nothing we haven't already seen. We've got a ball joint and a hinge at the neck. He can look up, down, all around. Really nice fluid range of movement there. Again, those shoulders are hindered by the plates on the armour there, which are not made of a soft plastic. They're hard, and you can't get the arm much further up than that, unfortunately. He does feature a double joint at the elbow. All of these joints on pretty much every Stormtrooper I've bought in the 6-inch line have been very tight, so do be careful with those if you pick this figure up for yourself. It's very, very easy to break these figures. He does have a hinge at the wrist as well. A ball joint at the torso, which again is a bit tight. Almost has that sort of ratchet. You can hear that clicking when you turn it, but don't worry, it's nothing abnormal. All of these Stormtroopers have done that so far. We also have hinges at the hips, swivels at the upper thigh, a double joint in the knee once again, and a hinge and a rocker at the ankle. So reasonable articulation. As I mentioned in my last review, we've obviously seen the articulation system updated and modified in recent years, but this isn't to be sniffed at. You can still get this guy in some decent poses. One of the things I've found with both this figure and the Stormtrooper Commander is that due to the type of plastic used to sculpt the figure, the legs can become a little bit warped inside the packaging, and this can make them a little bit difficult to stand, but it's nothing that a little bit of boiling water can't solve, so just be aware of that when you pick this figure up. Other than that, really can't say enough good things about this figure. Like with the Stormtrooper Commander, I really do wish we'd have seen this paint job applied to the brand new Stormtrooper that's coming out around August, September time, I believe. And when that figure is released, I'll be sure to do a comparison between the new and the old sculpt. Again, this one dates back to 2013. This is the very first Stormtrooper sculpt to be released in the Black Series, so it's finally getting that long awaited update. But in terms of aesthetics, this is a great looking figure, and he really does complement the Stormtrooper Commander from The Force Unleashed as well nicely. So at some point I'm probably going to have to hunt down duplicates of these figures just to display them loose, because they do look stunning next to one another, but for now they'll be going back in their boxes and serving as a nice backdrop to some of my expanded universe 6-inch figures. But very, very cool figure indeed. Really do like this one. I hope you've enjoyed taking a look at the Shadow Stormtrooper, and I'll be back with some more reviews very, very soon. I've got some really cool figures to give you a look at over the coming months, So make sure you stay tuned for all of those. And until next time, as always, thank you for watching, keep collecting, and may the Force be with you.